What made me decide to play drums? It was my brother. There's 50 years difference in our age. So, 11 years difference. So, when I grew up, he had the bands over. Well, first of all, there were drums in the house. So there were drums in the house. And, you know, when you're a young kid, the drums look massive. You know, the bass drum looks like that big. And I was like, wow, this is cool. So I started banging on those. And then he used to have the bands rehearsing at my house. And I was like 8 years old, 7, 8, and I had a live band for entertainment. I didn't need no internet. They were downloading right in the house there. It was amazing. We didn't have the internet. So that got me hooked, and then I used to play his drums, and then finally Carmine told my mother and father to take me to the lessons and see what the drum teacher thinks, the guy he went to, this guy in Brooklyn, New York. His name was Dick Bennett. And so I went there, and he said, yeah, he's good, you know, go for lessons. So I went through the first books with stick control, syncopation, All-American Drummer, books like that. And, you know, I used to go every week, do 3 pages from each book, $5 a lesson, you know, and it was amazing. And my mother took me on 2 buses because I was young. I was like 9 years old. So I got hooked. Then Carmine joined the Vanilla Fudge, and they were big, national band. The record went gold, playing all these big shows. And I used to go with my parents. My parents were very supportive, which was cool, you know. And so I did that, and that got me hooked. And then I just started playing around New York City, did weddings, a couple of weddings. But even in the weddings, I put some stuff in there. You know, they were trying to dance, but they got a little kick there. I put stuff in all the time. So, and then luckily I got hooked up at the right place at the right time. Record Plant Studios, and met Rick Derringer there, who I did my first albums with. John Lennon, did a little work with him. Then I don't know who from there. From there, then later on, it was Black Sabbath and Dio. So, anybody else? Yeah.
What kind of stuff did you do with John Lennon? I mean,
drugs, you mean? How'd you know? He was always asking for something, but they didn't do that. We met him, and our manager was the owner of the Record Plant Studios in New York City, and Jimmy Iovine was our producer, and he was our friend. And you know, Jimmy used Interscope Records and American Idol. So Jimmy was producing us, and then one night they needed hand claps, so they were in the studio with John Lennon, Elton John. I'm not sure if Elton John was there. So they called us, and we were rehearsing every night up in the 3rd floor. It was a 9-piece band with 4 horn players. One of the horn players was Mark Rivera, who plays with Ringo and Foreigner and Billy Joel. He went on to do some stuff. So one night they called us, they go, hey, can you guys come down and do hand claps? And they didn't tell us who it was, so we go downstairs. We walk in the room, not through the control room, but right into the recording room. And we see John Lennon, and they go, oh shit, there's John Lennon. Oh, God. So we did hand claps on the song called Whatever Gets You Through the Night. So if you hear that song, that's me and my band doing hand claps, which is pretty funny. And then we left. So it was 9 of us, came in the studio, did hand claps, and left. John said, who are those guys? You know, where'd they come from? So Jimmy told him we were upstairs. A couple days later, he comes in and hangs out with us. We're rehearsing, and he comes walking in. So talk about how your muscles go like this. Yeah, oh, yeah, wow. And then we hung out with him, and then we wound up doing a gig with him. We played a live TV show with him at the New York Hilton. Played Imagine with him and Slippin' and Slidin'. And then we did 3 videos, and then he produced, the owner's wife was a singer, and 8 songs in the studio with him. It's pretty amazing.
That is great. That's great.
Yeah.
I always wondered, like, how did you, when you first jammed with Ronnie, how did you guys meet? And what?
With Ronnie?
Yeah. How did you
Ronnie James Dio? Yeah. Quickly, 1980, I get a call from Sharon Osbourne, right? And she goes, hi, Vinny, this is Sharon. And she goes, Ozzy's putting a new band together, and we want to fly to England to hang out with Ozzy. And I was like 20 years old, 21 years old. So I went, oh, okay, and I know Ozzy was nuts. You know, this is when he was drinking, and it was pretty crazy. So I thought, okay, where's England? You know, I haven't been, the only touring I did was in Canada, you know. And So I asked my brother Coleman, I said, hey, dude, I got this off of Famazi. I mean, you know, this is kind of when he was thrown out of Sabbath. It wasn't the same thing. He was crazy. So should I, you know, you think I should do it? He goes, ah, man, he's crazy. Yeah, you're right. So I didn't. I turned it down. And 2 years later, he's playing with him. Coleman. So if he ever comes here and does a drum clinic, you give him hell. So I turned that down, and then luckily, like a month or two later, Sabbath calls, and they go, hey, we're in LA, Bill Ward left, you want to come down and meet Tony Iommi? So I went down to the Hollywood Hotel, the Marquee, and I met the road manager, and then he goes, all right, I'm going to call Tony. So Tony comes walking in with my Axis album, a band I had, my own band, my own album. He goes, yeah, I like this is good. Okay, so they invite me down to play with them the next day at the studio. So there I met Ronnie James Dio and Geezer Butler, Jeff Nichols on keyboards. And the first song I played with Ronnie, Neon Nights.
Nice.
Last song I played with Ronnie, Neon Nights. That's a weird thing there, but it was meant to be, you know. God bless Ronnie. So, Ronnie. So